Hello class, and welcome to our English lesson for today. Today we are going to be talking about apostrophes. That is going to be lesson 7.8 in the 4th grade book and 8.5 in the 5th grade book. Please pause the video and make sure that you are open to the correct pages in your book. Today we are learning about apostrophes. Apostrophes are something that we have covered earlier on in the beginning of the year when we talked about possessive nouns. An apostrophe, which looks like this here, it's like a comma, but on top of the line instead of on the bottom. An apostrophe shows ownership or possession. It pairs with a noun to show that that noun owns something. Here's an example sentence with a possessive noun using an apostrophe. The scientist's research is about Mars. It is showing that the scientist here is owning the research by adding an apostrophe S after the scientist. You add an apostrophe S after the noun if that noun is singular. Remember, singular means that there's only one noun. In this sentence, there is only one scientist, not multiple scientists. So you will add the apostrophe S. Here's an example sentence with a plural possessive noun. The scientist's report was on astronomy. Here we have the plural noun, scientists, and it ends in S. When a plural noun ends in a S and it is showing ownership of report, in this example, you add an apostrophe after the S. Remember, plural means two or more nouns in that group. There are multiple scientists, not one scientist. Now, there is a bit of a rule when it comes to whether or not you add apostrophe S or S apostrophe. If the noun is singular, meaning only one thing, like in this sentence here, you will always only add apostrophe S. Be that scientist, apostrophe S to make scientists. Have a cat, you will make that cat apostrophe S. When it is singular, meaning one thing, you will always add apostrophe S. If the noun is plural and ends in S, like scientists, you add an apostrophe after that S. However, there are some plural nouns that don't end in S. An example being oxen. There are multiple oxen in this word. There's not just one ox. If there is a plural noun that does not end in S, you will add an apostrophe S after it. If you need a re-explanation of this, please rewind the video to the beginning of this section. Or look in your book. For 4th grade, that is going to be page 174, and 5th grade, that is going to be page 170. For a detailed explanation of when to use apostrophe S or S apostrophe in possessive nouns. The other use for apostrophes is when you use a contraction. A contraction is taking two words and smashing them together and leaving some letters out. That apostrophe shows that letters have been left out and the apostrophe is taking the place of those letters. Here's an example sentence with a contraction using an apostrophe. I didn't know Earth was the 3rd planet from the sun. Didn't is a contraction using an apostrophe to show that a letter has been left out. And in fact, did not is a contraction for did not. You are taking did and not, smashing them together, and removing the O. Here is a list of common contractions that you will find in your writing. 4th grade, when you do your assignment, you will not have this list in your book. So you can pause this video right here where you can see nothing but the list, and you can use that in your assignment. Let's go through the common contractions you will find in your assignment and your everyday lives. Are not becomes aren't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Cannot becomes can't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Did not becomes didn't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Does not becomes doesn't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Do not becomes don't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Has not becomes hasn't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. Will not becomes won't. You drop the I-L-L and add an O, and it becomes won't. An apostrophe between the N and the T. Have not becomes haven't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. He is becomes he's. Apostrophe between the E and the S. I will becomes I'll. Apostrophe between the I and the L. I am becomes I'm. Apostrophe between the I and the M. Is not becomes isn't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. It is becomes it's. Apostrophe between the T and the S. I have becomes I've. Apostrophe between the I and the V. She has becomes she's. Apostrophe between the she and the S. They are becomes their. Apostrophe between the Y and the R. There is becomes theirs. Apostrophe between the E and the S. They have becomes they've. Apostrophe between the Y and the V. Was not becomes wasn't. Apostrophe between the N and the T. We will becomes we'll. Apostrophe between the E and the L. We are becomes we're. Apostrophe between the E and the R. We have becomes we've. Apostrophe between the E and the V. You are becomes your. Apostrophe between the U and the R. You have becomes you've. Apostrophe between the U and the V. Those aren't all of the contractions you may run into, but those are the most common ones. When you work through your assignment, refer back to this list, either in the video for 4th grade or 5th grade. It is also in your book on page 170. If you need a detailed explanation for what a contraction is and how you use an apostrophe to leave out letters in that contraction, look on your book on pages 174 if you're in 4th grade or 170 if you are in 5th grade. Or you can rewind to the beginning section of this video where you can listen to me explain contractions again. Now we are going to go through the example problems of your assignment. 4th grade, we are going to go first. So 5th grade, you can either skip to your section of the video or follow along and get some extra practice with the 4th grade. 4th grade, we're going to do lesson 7.8, pages 174 and 175. Exercises 1 through 3. Please pause the video and make sure that you have a pencil and a piece of paper ready so that you can write down the examples that I do on the board on your paper. For exercise 1, what they want you to do is find the word that has the apostrophe and just say whether or not it is a contraction or a possessive noun. Let's look at the sentence. Liam's brother sleeps on the top bunk. Where's the word with the apostrophe? Hopefully you said that the apostrophe was located in the word Liam's. Is Liam's a noun showing possession, or is it a contraction? It is a noun showing that Liam has possession over brother. Whose brother? Liam's brother. So you will write possessive. That is all you will do in exercise 1. Write either possessive or contraction based on what word has the apostrophe. For exercise 2, the apostrophes have been left out of the sentences. So what you will do is write the word correctly. You do not need to rewrite the sentence. You are just rewriting the word correctly. Let's rearrange our bedroom. Bedroom does not have anywhere to put an apostrophe. It's not a contraction, nor is it showing possession. Our. It is showing possession, but it's not one that we use a possessive. It is not showing one that we would need an apostrophe S for. Rearrange is a verb. We do not add an apostrophe for verbs, so then we are left with let's. Let's is a contraction that isn't on our list, but it is a contraction between the words let and us. And you can check by putting both words in the sentence and seeing if it makes sense. Let us rearrange our room. Makes sense. So you will write let's. That's what you do for exercise 2. Find the word that is missing its apostrophe and add it, writing the word correctly. For exercise 3, they have italicized 2 words that they want you to turn into a contraction. Here we have, my room is not messy. And the words is and not are italicized in your book. So you need to turn is and not into a contraction. If you look back to our list and find is and not, you will see the contraction is isn't. So for exercise 3, you will write isn't. 4th grade, if you have any questions on your assignment, you can come to our Zoom session later today and ask me in person. This assignment is going to be due the next time we meet in person in the classroom. 5th grade, your assignment is going to be page 171, which is lesson 8.5. And you are going to do exercises 1 and 2. Please pause the video and make sure that you have a pencil and paper out and ready so you can follow along and write the examples that I do on the board. For exercise 1, all they want you to do is write the word that should have the apostrophe. They have left out the apostrophe. You need to find out which word it is and write it correctly. So the sentence for number 1 in exercise 1 is this. Sarah's report had many interesting facts about the moon. You can see that Sarah is here. Looks like it's plural Sarahs. That doesn't make sense. Sarah's a name. There should only be one Sarah. Who's owning the report? Sarah. So we should add an apostrophe right here. So you will write, for number 1 of exercise 1, Sarah's. That's what you do in exercise 1. Find the word that is missing its apostrophe, be it a possessive noun or a contraction, and write it correctly. For exercise 2, they want you to find 2 words that you need to make into a contraction and write the sentence using that contraction. Here we have the sentence. There is no apostrophe. There is no atmosphere on the moon. Moon we can't do anything with. On and the we can't do anything with. Atmosphere we can't do anything with. So then we have to look at there is and no. If we look back at our list, is there a contraction between is and no? No, there is not. There's one for is not, but there is not one for is no. There is, however, one for there is. So you will write there's no atmosphere on the moon. That's how you do exercise 2. Find the word, the 2 words that you are going to make a contraction. Make that contraction and rewrite the rest of the sentence using it. There's a contraction with there and is with an apostrophe between the E and the S. No atmosphere on the moon. Fifth grade, you are going to be turning this assignment in the next time we are in person. If you have any questions on your assignment, you can join our Zoom session later today and ask me in person. Thank you for following along in your English class for today, and I look forward to our lesson tomorrow.